Welcome to another edition of Mid-Century Pickleball. Ian, Bill, on location in beautiful Shorewood, Wisconsin. Our home courts, kind of.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely the closest courts.
Yeah, nice day out. We're here to talk about the Gearbox GX2 Power. Fantastic offering from Gearbox. I'm not quite sure it's for everybody, and we're going to get into that a little bit. You have the elongated in your hand. I have the hybrid. The shape has dictated a lot of what we think about these paddles, and the elongated is a different animal than this hybrid. Would you say that's fair?
Oh yeah, definitely. I would agree with that. The swing weight, the feel of it is very different.
That paddle plays heavier. No doubt about it.
Yeah, it is heavier a little bit, but not much.
But we're talking like a tenth of an ounce here, right?
Right. But if we show the difference here like we did in our first impression video,
yeah,
you can see how much longer it is. And if we really match up, the handles are the same length and it goes out and it's a little narrower, so you don't have that twist weight that you get in the hybrid model. In other words, when you're driving, you're going to feel a little bit more weight at the end of your drive, right? A little more whip.
Absolutely. Yola Magnus vibes.
Definitely.
Elongated paddle vibes. Listen, this thing is a cannon. You rifle the ball. I've seen you rifle the ball with this thing. And so that gets into my first kind of summary point. Top tier power.
Yeah.
Where it exactly compares to the arms race out there, and this may be the subject of another podcast.
Yeah.
There's a paddle arms race out there. There's a power race. This has top tier power. I would say it's above the Yola Pro 4 in power, maybe down in pop. But I think in power, it is above the Yola Pro 4.
Right. Yeah, it has more dwell, so it feels a little different when you're countering at the net. You get the power, but you don't get that big pop feel, that big pop sort of response that you would get from a more crisp-faced paddle, right? Yeah, there's no crispness feeling to it at all, but it does have a lot of feedback. I don't feel like it has no feedback, but I feel like when you compare it to something like a Pro 4, with the Pro 4, when you hit it hard, you're going to get this kind of feeling like, wow, I really hit that. And with this one, you hit it and you see it fly and you're kind of like, yeah, okay, that was good. But you didn't get that sort of, this sort of boom, like you had a firecracker in your hand.
That tuning fork that pops off a little bit. But when you do catch this, it's butter.
Yeah,
it's butter.
Totally. Yeah, I think we should talk about where this thing sits in the sort of paddle hierarchy as far as value goes and price.
Sure.
So they're $280 retail, which is the same as Yola Pro 4 paddles. A lot of paddles are going for around $280, the top tier power paddles, the ones that are being used by pros, like the Flamingo.
Selkirk released one that's $333.
That's true.
$252 with code MCP, so you can take $28 off this sucker if you want to, if you use code MCP.
I think we should also talk about, they have a longer warranty than Yola.
Yes.
So you're getting a comparable power paddle. I would say a little bit harder hitting ground stroke paddle, especially if you get the elongated.
Yes.
But maybe a little less satisfying pop feeling when you're countering at the kitchen. But for $30 less and a year-long warranty, plus this thing does not have honeycomb in it.
My understanding is foam in between the carbon fiber ribs.
They call it SST 2.0.
Yes.
And it works. It's been solid as a rock for us.
Maybe not the last generation of paddles, but back in the day, Gearbox was known for tanky, powerful, durable paddles. That is a little tanky, and it is definitely powerful, and we think it will be durable, but of course we have not played with these long enough to declare that they're durable. Your mileage may vary on that one. I think they're going to be durable.
Yeah, definitely.
Just from what we know about the paddle. All right, we've talked a lot about the elongated.
Yeah, let me know what you think about the hybrid. Why do you love it so much?
I think it's a little more accessible than this. I find it to be quicker at the net. A couple of those stab blocks just to get one back when someone speeds up.
Right.
I feel like these, I'm a little quicker at the net in hands battles than with that. The sweet spot is definitely large on this. I also find it very stable. Like when I'm trying to return your drives, I don't feel like the paddle or the ball is moving the paddle that much.
Yeah.
And I should mention this, we are both playing these. We've both played these stock. We haven't added any
No
weight to these
whatsoever. Yeah, they're really great feeling. Actually. They're about 8 ounces, a little bit over 8 ounces.
Tiny bit over 8 ounces for this one. This, I just, you know, as far as feel though, I know the static weight is very, very close to one another. This feels heavier.
Yeah. So this one's about 8.25 ounces. This one's about 8.15 ounces, but the feel is very different.
Yeah.
And I think another thing to note too is that the handles on these are a little bit more narrow. So if you like a lighter paddle, you like a more narrow handle just out of the box, then you're going to like this. We have overgrips.
Right.
You might even add a second overgrip. I mean, you probably want it.
I might add a second overgrip.
It's only a 4-inch diameter. I think most, like the YOLO Pro 4 paddles, are 4.125.
Yeah,
Is that
or
right?
4.125.
Or 4.25.
Yeah.
Somewhere around there is usually the case with these kind of paddles, but this one is a little bit more narrow, which for us isn't great, but we can always overgrip. Not a problem.
Yeah. Okay, so large sweet spot, a great amount of power, definitely pop there. The feel is the feel. It's certainly different than a YOLO Pro 4. I mean, let's talk about who these paddles are for. That paddle, definitely singles players, definitely ex-tennis players, I think advanced players.
Yeah.
I don't want to be
There's enough space for a two-handed backhand.
I don't want to be elitist. I don't want to say, oh, you got to be a 4.5 to ride. But I do think you should have your ground strokes at a consistent level before you buy this paddle.
So this one, you're going to get more out of it in terms of ground stroke. You lose a little bit of hand speed, but if you have fast hands already, I don't think you're going to be worrying about that. I think you're going to be appreciating the fact that you can rip the ball so hard from the ground, you know, out the baseline.
Do you know what I mean, though? That some people who are trying to kind of get over the 4.0 hump or trying to get over the 3.5 hump don't necessarily need more power in their game. They need more control. They watch all these reviews. They go out and buy the latest and greatest power paddle. That's not necessarily good for their game.
Right.
Not necessarily.
Yeah. Well, what do you think about training paddles? You know, those little tiny training paddles? Because I would say the biggest issue with this isn't the ground stroke power. I think the biggest issue is the narrowness of the sweet spot. And I think that a lot of people who are hitting ground strokes imperfectly are hitting off the middle,
off
right?
center, sure.
Yeah, and this one is just so forgiving in sense of the horizontal sweet spot is larger.
Right.
Just because the surface of the paddle, I would say, we talked about it before, but about 80%, right? You'd say about 80%. The outside 10% on either side.
Sure, it's a generous sweet spot.
Very generous, but this one just by the nature of its shape is more narrow.
Right.
It's probably longer.
Right.
So if you love to hit out here at the end, then I would say this is going to be easier for you than that one.
And listen, and there is a 3.0 or a 3.5 player out there who hits very consistent strokes and just needs that added oomph to their game. That could work. There are players who really try to put a move on a ball, really try to add something. You don't need to do that with these paddles. You almost have to
easy stroke.
You need to remind yourself to hit that 70% stroke, and these things really sing.
It's true.
When you try to
you don't want to muscle it.
When you try to muscle it, these are not going to be nice to you, in my opinion.
No, I would agree with that. And when I'm hitting a control paddle, I am muscling it.
Yes.
And so if I'm switching from a control paddle especially, I'm going to say, this is going to be a tricky one because all of a sudden I need to pull back a lot. So one thing I would say, like, if you love the Magnus, for example, but you really want that two-handed space, I think this is a perfect paddle.
Do you want to talk about break-in? We don't have a lot to talk. We don't have a lot to talk about with break-in on that paddle, in my opinion. That broke in like that.
I don't know. A lot of other reviewers are talking about taking a long time to break in. We talked about this. You know, different reviewers have different hitting styles and maybe different hitting strengths. And we wail on the paddles. I mean, that's actually what I want to do as soon as I get a paddle. I just want to hit it as hard as I can for as long as
we can.
And not in a double sense either. I'll set us up. I'll just, hey, you know, I'm going to be here on the baseline and you're going to be at the kitchen line. I'm just going to hit hard balls at you, you know, and we'll do that for 30 minutes. and that'll break a paddle in really fast.
Yeah.
So
And
I think this took like maybe 2 hours.
and I think this loosened up or dwelled up a little bit.
So the hybrid maybe could be a little longer, especially if you're not a hard
power
hitter
player.
particularly. And
Sure.
this thing will soften up over time. You should expect that if you hit these things hard enough, they will start to
They'll
give
break
you
it
more.
for you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
more dwell, more send off that ground stroke, and actually easier resets too. We haven't talked much about resets.
Sure.
The resets are incredible. Both these paddles.
I do find just kind of throwing the paddle out there, and as
Yeah.
long as you're anywhere
Aim it.
near the sweet
You
spot,
just have to set the spot, right?
set the right
Yeah.
launch angle,
Yeah.
and it just kind of dumps over the net.
Yeah.
You're not
So
putting that much
smooth.
into it.
Feel
Yeah.
very confident.
I did enjoy that.
Yeah.
I've actually enjoyed this hybrid at the net as well.
Yeah.
It's
fast.
Yeah, I really
know.
no, but even in the dink game too.
I see what you're saying.
I've gotten
Yeah.
used to the feel a little bit.
Yeah.
and that's generally not been a strength of my game,
Right.
but I feel like that's kind of propping up a little bit with the practice and with the help of this paddle.
I mean, the soft game, I think this is a good determination. We'll show some dinking, some kind of like shorter gameplay.
Yeah.
These things are great in the soft game.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
you don't need to add much. And so it's really great for developing feel.
Yeah, just kind of get that smooth motion.
Yeah.
Take your elbow out,
Yep.
take your wrist out, just
Yep.
kind of pendulum that
Yeah,
sucker,
for sure.
and it just pops over for
Yeah,
you.
it's exactly what you want from a power paddle. It's basically allowing you to play an easier game. So you're going to get more for less.
Yeah.
That's what this is for.
All right, bottom line here, these are fantastic paddles. You just have to make sure these are for you. I'll use the sports car analogy, or I'll use the car analogy.
Yeah, definitely.
This paddle is not a Toyota Camry, okay? This is a Corvette. It is a sports car. Just know that going in. Know that you're getting a high performance paddle.
Right.
There are some people out there who need the Toyota Camry
Right.
of paddles.
Maybe they're a little lead-footed,
Sure.
and they think, well, it's no big deal. I can put
Sure.
the pedal to the metal, and I don't
Sure.
go that fast.
But there,
These, if you go pedal to the metal,
yeah. If
gonna go.
if just know that you're buying a high performance paddle, and if you know that, if you know what you're getting into, I think these will treat you right.
yeah, definitely.
Code MCP for $28 off. Like, subscribe. That's huge for us.
Comments. Love
Comments.
reading your comments. Love responding to your comments. You guys are fantastic.
We've
Just
had a-
absolutely enjoying interacting with everybody in the comment section.
Very good comment community. All right, so that's our full thoughts
Yeah.
on the Gearbox
Yeah.
Gearbox GX2 Power.
Yep.
I've had trouble talking today. I better sign off.
It's a long day.
For Ian, this is Bill. You've been watching Mid-Century Pickleball. Thank you for that. And until next time, swing easy.